I want you to see the key issue in life itself as oxygen. Oxygen is also an ether, okay? The moisture from the ground comes up and the sun rays hit it, becomes an ether. An ether can be conductive. So from 0 to 7, you create adrenochrome, which is an accretion, okay, where you oxidize your blood. So when you're a child, from 0 to 7, you think outside the mind because you haven't been programmed to think yet. So that works perfectly between 0 and 7. A child can mastermind a computer game between 3 and 7 and move 7 times faster than an adult can. Pump with adrenaline to be alert, alive, awake, and aware, right? And never confused and frustrated. What does a child do? He breathes a lot of oxygen when he's pumped with adrenaline to be alert, alive, awake, and aware, like a meth effect. So he also creates what we call the gut feeling survival mode, the chakra. It's on fire with the shiver in the spine. That's called Jacob's ladder. That's a Neuralink, a tree of life. Okay, and the holy breath is what's so important, the breath of life. Because when you pump like this, you're breathing more oxygen deep into your lungs that goes into your Neuralinks and changes the circumstances in your body cells. So when you drink water, you're 75% water and your DNA is 93% water. That's your cells. It has a personality. I've made a lot of videos about this. Talk to 2 plates of water, one ugly, one beautiful, right, with unconditional love, put them in the freezer overnight, take them out in the morning, take a look at the cells. You see they have a personality. How connected are you to water? Because that's your body cells that controls your biological system, and it has a personality. You'll see that with your own 2 eyes. How connected are you to this? Probably not. So that has a personality and also has mana, which goes in your biological system. And when you're from 0 to 7, you create adrenochrome, you create an accretion from what? The crystal in your pineal gland. That crystal creates graphene oxide serum to make your body cells conduct with the outside influence of reality in the most positive fields. So a child has a light bulb idea, all right, from another dimensional view of thinking, with another perception. He has a light bulb idea, the vision that tells him 1,000 words you can respond to 7 times faster than an adult can. Then he goes to school to get programmed and that accretion dies. That dies between 7 and 15. That's why satanic people only want adrenochrome from children, preferably under 6, because it's most potent. So, you can't create that accretion. So that accretion, the most important thing in the world that we know about this today, is in the resurrection of humanity, to go back in their primal state, to think instinctively and not think mentally and psychologically and be trapped inside our minds with voices in our mind that causes the adverse effect. You see, we can repair our body cells, DNA, and immune system when we think instinctively. You'll hear a lot of platforms right now like Dr. Bruce Lipton, Joe Dispenza, and many other people saying it's not what you think. The placebo effect is 10 times more powerful than your reality, and you can repair your genes and immune system. You can even reverse aging process and cancer. If you can think instinctively with your natural organic motor skills and understand your placebo effect is 10 times more powerful than your reality, it changes your reality. So don't be stuck in some kind of literal truth in your reality, because then you'll never access this. So what I'm bringing to your attention in this particular video is something very crucial. People pray in churches, okay? They pray, but they've forgotten how to meditate in that prayer. And there's actually a piece in the Bible that explains this. They're supposed to meditate, and when you meditate, what do you always do? Breathe deep oxygen in every meditation in the world, right? Shilla masterminds, monks and Buddhists, right? Shilla masterminds like Bruce Lee, who can move 7 times faster than anyone could think by 24. Okay, you could fight 7 people blindfolded with his third eye, with his eye wide shut, and feel it through the atmosphere and block every punch. He could levitate a person, double his body weight, 9 feet into mid-air into a swimming pool. He could play one of the top world table tennis players with a pair of nunchucks and beat him with that kind of precision. So you have an outside influence in your reality that's 10 times more powerful. And when you understand that, you understand your primal state, the image you're creating, because Jesus went through a certain process, Yeshua, to discover this and break free from amnesia when he's 24 to become perfect. Shilla Mastermind teaches this. And what does Shilla Masterminds do? They use karate for breathing, and nothing more than breathing. It's about the oxygen. What we always told, healthy body, healthy mind, right? So you got to go and exercise to breathe oxygen. You've got to go riding bikes or run or swimming or something to breathe oxygen, right? Okay? To build your muscles, whatever. But what if it's the other way around? Healthy mind, healthy body. Because it is. That's how inverted we become in everything in the world today, because we don't do nothing about the mindset we live in. When you change your mindset and you cross over to think instinctively, spiritually, you understand dimensional view. You understand the light bulb idea that makes you highly intelligent. And then you understand you're not suppressed and trapped in your mind anymore with psychological behavior, with a high IQ that only makes you good at what you do. So oxygen is the key. That's why we have a whole paragraph on the holy breath in the Bible and the breath of life. And most people have completely lost the concept of this. So I want to tell you something. We've been damaged a lot with DNA evidence, right? And cellular study research. We're very dramatically damaged in the post-human stage. And one of the things we lack the most, we're thinking too much critically all the time, and going to education and also watching social media platform and sitting in front of cameras and in front of screens, is we don't breathe correctly. We only get 1/3 of the oxygen we're supposed to get reported by the top holders in the whole world. So we don't breathe correctly, which collapses our immunity system. You know, people dying from every day. One of the highest deaths in the world is dying from being dehydrated, and also the lack of oxygen. There's people recorded dying from CO2 poisoning because of this. Our immune system collapsing all over the world and becoming more volatile as a virus is non-stop. That's why we have these vaccinations, whether you like them or not. You know, some people's collapsing immune system that bad, you have no idea. But a person in a primal state has a 27 times more powerful immune system because he breathes the right oxygen. And it all comes down to the breath of life. So the resurrection of humanity, by the witness himself that knows the resurrection better than anyone else, makes it very clear to you. Wenoff's won a Nobel Prize with 27 Guinness Book of Records for superhuman abilities. 27's a sign. Holy Spirit. Listen to me carefully. He was chosen for this. He's won a Nobel Prize, the biggest physiologist in the world. His method for 45 years, and the biggest studies in the world, is the only meditation in the world that can recreate the cohesion correctly, because everybody's affected by the post-human stage and change their whole belief system from generation to generation, and do not do the meditation correctly and breathe the right oxygen, even the best of them in the whole world. We discover that. He was chosen for this and went through a death experience like I did. That's why I know what he's saying is the truth. Right? He says it's about believing, it's about love, and the rest of the world's full of BS, and it is. He's part of the World Transformation Movement, and he's won a Nobel Prize for this. Recreating the accretion of adrenochrome and the oxidization to conduct with is reigniting the spiritual connection with your instincts. And what does he say? It's about thinking instinctively. What do they say in the Matrix documentary? It's about thinking instinctively. What does Jeremy McGivis say in the World Transformation Movement? We're in the wrong mindset, right? We think too much, 7 times too much unnaturally. It's about thinking instinctively. Oxygen is the breath of life. Oxygen is a key figure for the conduction with water, manna, right? That conducts everything with manna, with graphene oxide from your body cells, right? To conduct your body cells in the most positive fields with 8 tools of righteousness: loyalty, honor, respect, moderation, inspiration, encouragement. We only breathe 1/3 of the oxygen we're supposed to, and our DNA is collapsing, and we can see it in our immune system. Every single person in Western civilization has 7,000 defective genes, some worse than others. Our bacteria is collapsing, and every immune system all over the world, reported all over the world by top physiologists in the whole world, reported on mainstream media. Bacteria, that's our immune system collapsing. The key to every single thing here that I teach here is a World Transformation Movement. You see Jeremy McGivis on 14 videos with the book Freedom is going to cure humanity. You must read this book, and you must listen to this carefully if you want to go back to primal state in your natural organic matter, because it's an image we're creating to resurrect humanity. To be reborn is to be rebirthed, to stick your head through the light of the inner tunnel and get out of the tunnel. Get out of the dark tunnel you're living in. And the holy breath is the key through the Wenoff breathing program and ice cold showers. Trust me. When you put yourself through a 30-day test with this, it will alter your DNA and it will alter everything you feel for your biological genes. You start to feel things. And trust me, you'll never go back, because you start to break free from amnesia and you start to think outside the mind, and it cures every mental disorders and every confusion, frustration in the world. It cures the human conditioning. You recreate the accretion, right, with oxygen and the holy breath, and that's when you pray. That's when you pray, when you go through this. Do this for 30 days. And trust me, over a period of a year or two, you'll start breathing deeper and deeper oxygen automatically, because you're resetting the biological genes in your natural organic matters, because you're also resetting something else. Your biological genes. You're resetting your whole central nervous system in your primal state. You're literally resetting the whole system, right, in your psychological state, right? You completely invert it by doing this because you're inverted now. So you go back to primal state to think instinctively and think outside the mind, not with the mind. And it cures every mental disorders from the voices in your mind. When you understand this and stop thinking all the time and give yourself a little bit of faith, right, and put yourself through this and go through the fight, flight mode in cold showers and ice baths that you don't want to do, it snaps you out of the fear mode. Snaps you out of the mindset that's conditioned so deeply into the human condition you suffer from so much in the post-human stage. Don't live in brain-locked denial about it, because believe me, you'll discover things you never discovered before in your life. Freedom is a liberation you don't understand until you go through this. When you stick your head through the light of the inner tunnel, you will know the truth. You'll know it with your own biological genes and your natural organic motives. You will see the visions. You'll see the light bulb idea. You'll be connected to the outside influence in another dimension that's perfect. No more pain, stress, and fear. In a time where time stands still and life preserves, instead of being fast-tracked into nowhere, you start to reverse time. You don't let time control you. You live every day as your last. Instead of always same shit, different day. Because that's the world you live in, fast-tracked into nowhere. Same shit, different day all the time. Okay? Because you can't function anymore. And I'm not saying they'd be unkind. I'm saying because it's true. You can't breathe oxygen. Most people think I'm on meth and accuse me of being meth all the time. That's your natural motor skills, the same as a child from 0 to 7. You're going to say that every child that's 7 years old or 3 years old when the mastermind computer game, were they on meth too? Is that what you're going to tell me? Were they on meth as well? Because you accuse me of it all the time because I can use my natural organic motor skills, and because you can't. Because you can't. You can't do nothing like I can. Look at my last 3 videos. There's only one person like me in the world, and I'm bringing the whole platform together with the top elect people in the world from the World Transformation Movement. Dr. Bruce Lipton, Joe Dispenza, went off the breathing program, has won a Nobel Prize, and Jeremy Griffiths wrote the book Freedom. And you've got to read this book because you will understand biologically and psychologically. Without reading that book and without dedicating yourself to learn this, you will never wake up to the truth. You will never, ever come out of the reincarnation trap you're stuck in. You will never break free from amnesia. And amnesia means you do not know, and you will not know until that moment. Then you understand resurrection. And it all starts with the key of the holy breath of life. You become dormant. From 21 years old, your body collapses. Your body starts to get so collapsed. The biggest problem in the world is back pains, and that's your neural links, the tree of life, that you're disconnected from. Your chakra, your gut feeling that repairs your genes, because your gut feeling survival mode, the very preservation mode blood that activates all the molecules. With a meth effect, to be alert, alive, waking, aware with adrenochrome. To be in that accretion where your shivers in your spine's on fire. And your body cells on fire from freedom, man. You're free, you're liberated from every chain wrapped around you. But you're so afraid of this and it controls you. Why are you afraid of the truth setting you free? Why? What does Winoff say? It's about believing. It's about love. Everything else is BS going on in your mind. Your mind's full of BS. Your head is full of BS. High IQ, sophisticated language, homotech babies to fact check, Google yourself like zombies who can't even breathe right and consume the right things with no relationship with your own body cells. None. A person like this can talk to nature and has 10 times more fruit with 10 times more nutritional value when he talks to his food with that kind of relationship. Do you know that? Are you disconnected to your food like this? You don't even talk to your food. You just scoff it down your throat because you're that selfish today. You've lost your primal state completely and all your instinctive behavior. You don't talk to water. You consume anything else that hurts you the most. You do. And you know you do. So you lie to yourself. So you're two-faced. You don't even know how to love yourself correctly. How are you going to learn to love someone else with the psychological behavior you live in when you've been conditioned into this so bad? You've got to restore yourself. You've got to go through the resurrection. You've got to be dedicated to go back to your primal state. And it starts right here with the holy breath of life. To have faith. To have real faith, not the faith in your mind, real faith outside the mind, and create that relationship. Create that connection with those conductions. Meditate. Be humble. Dedicate yourself. Spend at least half an hour every single day doing this. At least half an hour, because if you don't, you'll never know how to love yourself correctly. And you'll never know how to help anyone else, no matter what's going on in your mindset. Don't tell me you've been breathing your whole life and meditating because you cannot compare to this. It's a proven fact. This is an old, ancient history way of breathing, right, that doesn't exist in this world through anybody that are conditioned that much. This is the only scientific research in 45 years that proves the evidence here. The biological scientific evidence to prove in our DNA and cellular study research. And they've studied every meditation in the world from the top gurus, Shula masterminds, monks and the Buddhists, every one of them in the world. There's only one civilization that's got it perfect, and it's the outback of Australia. The Australian Aborigines are the only ones that do this organically and naturally with their natural organic motor skills, that breathes the correct oxygen with the most powerful immune system in the world, and no mental disorders and no voices in the mind that controls them at all. So they have a perfect DNA system and live to be double as old as us, with no gene defects at all, no cancer, blood clots, myocarditis, or cancer, because they can beat all of it. They can beat all of it in their DNA. 27 times more powerful immune system than anything that we have. So the holy breath of life in the Bible, right, in every study done, is the key factor. The ether, the conduction, your light, your power, your energy, your body cells has 1.4 volt in every cell. You've got trillions of them, right? You're like a chemical factory with 280,000 chemicals that you can create in your own biological genes to also repair your DNA and reverse everything. You're not even aware of it. Well, you wouldn't have a clue, would you? Not when you think of the mindset you live in and trapped inside your mind with your educated knowledge and your scientific evolution bullshit. And every IQ member that you think of, and every constructed way that you think of, think outside the mind instinctively, spiritually. Stick your head through the light at the end of the tunnel, and believe me, you'll know that dimension is perfect and you won't want to come back, but you surely know how to bring the power back. With that frequency, with that power, with that atmosphere, where your atmosphere starts to spread like a virus. And you have that God-given gift. And believe me, it's about believing. It's about love. And the rest of the world and everything going on in your mind is nothing but BS. The voice in your mind are ultimately designed from an extinction. And you give consent to the devil. And that's a proven fact on documents today. You give consent to the voice in your mind when you think critically and you think you're talking to yourself. You give consent to the voice in your mind when you convey feelings to thoughts and explain your own biological language. When you convey feelings to thoughts from an outside influence reality. You cannot have the light bulb idea. You do not have the pictures and the visions and the dreams and the visions that tells you 1,000 words that cannot lie to you. You don't even have faith in your own biological genes to use your natural organic motor skills, to think outside the mind. You can only think with the mind trapped in your mind. Your sixth sense is the most positive feels to be optimistical, right? To bring life into people and learn how to love people correctly with the right tools, and always be righteous, not cause people stumble, not to be judgmental, selfish, and egotistical, or competitive. That's all by design on reverse psychology, to be psychologically mental. And that's what everybody in the world is, in a massive syndrome, right? In a massive confusion, and the biggest frustration and the biggest division in global history with communication breakdown. You know it, it's happening in your own backyard. You know it's true. It's happened to every human being on earth in a massive syndrome. Those that think instinctively we tune out of the program. Those that goes back to the primal state can breathe correctly, because it's a breath of life that people's losing all over the world, and they're losing their natural organic motor skills in the Hawaiian syndromes, in the zombie virus, in the body snatchers. Go and read every study report. It's the same thing. We're losing our natural organic motor skills. We're losing our sixth sense, and that's what's happening all over the world. Think instinctively. The holy breath is the answer to everything. If you don't do this, you're going to suffer syndromes. You're going to suffer dizzy spells, amnesia, insomnia, right? You're going to fall in and out of amnesia, and you're going to fall in and out of psychosis, and you're going to fall in and out of the most dramatic thing that's happening all over the world in the zombie virus, where you're losing everything. You can see that with vaccinated people. So people going into concussion and don't know who they are. Don't know who they are anymore. I'm here to tell you how you discover who you are, why you're in life, is to break free from all this. This kind of reincarnation trap, this kind of thing happening all over the world in 96 countries, reported in every document. This is what's happening. Those that think instinctively, that do some breathing program and has absolute faith that right now you need to understand why I am your Savior, to lead you on the right path. So Jesus, Joshua, right? I'm here to teach you 3.5 years before he comes, and he's coming in 227, whether you believe it or not. That's Judgment Day. And you don't even understand the concept anymore. This is resurrection, and you better get it straight. The holy breath of life will save you, and prayer and the right meditation. Go deep on this. Don't mess around, because you lost your way so much it's unreal. Go deep, and trust me, God will come to you.